All right, welcome back or welcome to Beyond Swatches. This is Tiffany. I am the overly ambitious knitter who thinks she can do all the things but is very much humbled by reality. So today is very whip heavy. Um, yeah, so let's jump on into it and see what we got. So before we start, how are you? How have you been? It has been maybe 2 weeks now since we spoke last, and I was very much monogamously knitting on my Arctic Light sweater. So we'll start with that. It has made some progress. I made a reel about it. I made a little short video thing about it. And I'm still loving it. But then something happened and it caused me to put it down for a little bit. But I'm still loving it. I'm still working on it, like a row a day or something, or around a day. So I'll start with that one for today. So this is the Arctic Light sweater by Kutova Kika. Well, her name is Veronica, but that's her channel name and her Instagram. This is that. I think the last time we saw each other, I was two cables less. So making slow and steady progress. Round number I'm on, I want to say it's like 43, and last time I was on 32. So it is definitely moving along well. I'll try to give you a little peek into all of the different cables. Now, I had posted a picture of this, just posted it in one of my Facebook groups that is out there, and it was saying, oh, you might want to check your cables in whatever section because I think you missed something. And the chances that I did are very, very strong, but the ability of me to care enough to take it out is very, very low. So these are some of the cables that we got going on. I think the cable that the person might have been referring to is right here, like in this section right here. But I'm not 100% sure because I know for sure I follow the pattern. It could just be the way it starts. I don't know. But whatever it is, it ain't coming out. So unless I do something drastically off, yeah, it's just gonna have to be. So this section right here is like a double moss section, and it's the one that gives me honestly the most trouble when I'm working the charts because it's just knit purl, but they alternate, and sometimes I lose track of which number I'm on before I get to like the next knit through the back loop section. And so I had made a reel about it just real quickly, and what I started to do was not necessarily look at the individual stitches, but to look at the whole body of work. And when I did that, it made it a little bit easier to notice where in the chart I was based on the way the picture looks in the chart. So when I'm doing a knit purl, my next set of stitches or the next break in that pattern is this knit through the back loop. But if I'm just looking at the stitches, you don't know what a knit through the back loop is really until you look at the line of work that you've created. So that's been really helpful. It's forcing me to slow down a lot, which I love to kind of speed through a project, but no, not this one. And I don't want to make any mistakes because like I said, I'm not starting over. And foolishly, I have not been inserting a lifeline, and I'm starting to think that I probably should, but we live on the edge around here, so I probably won't. One of the little shorts that I put up was about this double pointed needle. I use my DPN as the cable needle because the regular cable needles, let's see if I can find one, it has like a bend in it, and for me it kind of makes it harder to work off the stitches, and I don't like that. So yeah, I don't have it. I have lost the needle so many times, and every time, I'll stick it inside of the sweater and I'll just keep working on the round, or I'll put it down next to me because I'm working on it, I'm good. But as soon as I stop working on a project and I'll go and live life, I come back and I don't know where the cable needle is. I can't find the DPN. And so what I started doing just on a whim one day, I had my stitch stoppers for the project. And I was like, well, why don't I just put the stitch stopper on the DPN and stick it through my project, and now I don't have to worry about losing my needle. So I felt like that was an ingenious idea. I don't know if anybody else has ever done it. I don't think I've ever seen it. Doesn't really matter. It was just something that I did. So really happy about that. But yeah, making slow progress. We're on round, I think what I said, 43, 42, 43 of this. And I have to get to about 59 before I split for sleeves. So for sure, within the next 2 weeks, I should be at least split it for sleeves. The reason why it's taken me so long, or what has diverted my attention, before we even get there, let's just say, I know that in many a video, especially ones ending the year last year, that I have made the statement, I don't want to do another test knit. It's not for me. I'm not a test knit person. I feel like the rush of it is just too much. Sometimes people work a test and it's not the right style for me, you know. But then one of your favorite YouTube designers or designers from YouTube puts out a test call. And so you just slide your name on the list, not really thinking that you would be on the list because she has a ton of people. And so what happened was she put my name on the list. And I felt awfully privileged. And at the time, if you recall from maybe the first video in January, I mentioned I was my cat. I mentioned in one of the other videos I was working on a shawl for my husband's grandmother, well, his best friend's grandmother by extension, you know. And I was working on that shawl in that burgundy, gold, and green, that thing, and it's been going well. I started working on the Spindrift shawl. I can't remember who makes it, but I think it was pretty popular for a while. Helen something or another. She also did that anthropology shawl. It's like a really, really big circular shawl. I saw that a lot of times. So she did that pattern, and it comes with like a video series or email series and things like that. So I started that shawl and I'm enjoying it. But then I got this test knit thing and I'm like, you know what? We can make this shawl for her instead. Reason being, I started losing motivation behind the shawl. And it's really probably because, one, I'm not a shawl person. I don't wear them. Things like the half and half wrap is more my speed. Something that's big, more blanket-like. I do a scarf before I like shawls because I feel like, I don't know, structurally it just seems normal to me. And I like that, like a really big, oversized, rectangular shawl would be nice with a lot of details and stuff. But regular shawls to wrap up in, I always feel weird because they don't cover anything. Like you have all this fabric down your back with the triangle point, and then you have these two short triangles, and then the rest of my arm is out. I don't know, it just seems like a weird thing. So it's not my favorite. But then Laura from Penrose Knits puts out this test call, and it's for a what looks to me almost like a softened triangle shawl. It has all the makings of a shawl, but with a little bit of curve. So this will be for her, and because it's a test knit, I have to finish it. And I can't put it down because I have to finish it. So she'll definitely get her shawl before the end of February. So that's really a good thing. When I started this shawl, oh, by the way, it's called the Pim Pom Shawl, in ode to her daughter, Penny, who is just the cutest little thing. The way that Laura did hers, I think it was beige or some sort of a speckly beige, and then with a bright contrasted or a contrast color on the bottom. So a lot of people in the group so far have chosen, a variegated speckled stripy yarn for the main body and then a solid color for the border. There's one lady who's doing stripes, and it really did make me want to rip mine out, but I don't have enough yarn, to finagle a pattern like that. But I think it's really, really pretty. And it's going well. So here's the thing. When I started this shawl, these were the colors that I chose, and I'll probably put a picture up of it as well. But these were the colors the color that I chose. It's the same dye lot, but as you can tell, something is a little bit lighter, some is a little bit darker, some has a little bit more purples in it, etc. But when you put the two strands together, it works into a really nice bluish, like ocean blueberry situation, and I really liked it. But as I got probably about a quarter of the way, I started to feel my desire depleting or waning a little bit. And what I realized is this Arctic Light sweater is in blue, and then this thing is in blue, and I was actually getting the blues. And so that was like not fun, because it's a fun pattern. It's a fun pattern. Like when it comes out, if you're a shawl person, if you find value in something like this, or even if you want to make it as a gift and keep it in a closet, I think it's worth it. But yarn choice is everything. So, and the color, I didn't expect it to make me feel that way, but like I said, I'm working on something that's already primarily in this blue color, this the primary color. And even though this speckle color was giving me really nice, I love the look of it, but I was just like, eh. So I went into Stash again, found the same company yarn, and I pulled these out. Oh, so pretty. And so I started working it up in this. And when I tell you I started feeling so much happier, and this is how it's looking so far. So it has this beautiful I-cord edge thing that's built into the pattern. It starts with an I-cord tab cast on, whatever it's called, I-cord tab cast on, and then you have your I-cord edging, so slip three on the ends. It's really a nice pattern, but look at the color. Isn't the color pretty? It screams lively, and if I'm not mistaken, I think this color was called Bloom, which, a floral bouquet bloom, and it has this nice decorative center seam going on. I just think it's really, really nice. I'm gonna try to get to the end of the row so I can open it up fully so you can see it. I don't exactly remember when it's due, so I'm just trying to hurry up and work on it. I'm pretty sure it's in a post somewhere, I just have not looked it up. But I am enjoying it. It's one of those things where you basically have all knit stitches with a couple of remember to do this. And because of that, it's the perfect sit on the couch, watch a movie, carry on a conversation in a coffee shop, whatever your thing is. So that's been pretty cool. And see, here it is. I'm just working on it. And as you're working it, you see how it's kind of curved. So I like that part of it. And then the edge, which you would have seen the picture by now, I'm sure I put it up. The edge has like a nice little scalloped edge that is really pretty. And I don't want to say how things are worked, because of course it's a paid for pattern and it's still in testing, but it's really pretty. I'm really feeling the construction of a shawl that's pretty basic, and then it turns into something really fun at the end. So gives you something to look forward to, kind of forces you to want to hurry up and finish. I think my goal number of stitches is like close to 300 or something, and I'm right at 150 total or 160. So I'm getting pretty close, and I'm almost there. And when I do, then it'll be time to get my solid color on the edge, which let me grab that for you so you can see what I'm pairing it with. Solid color will be this on the border. Now, it is nowhere near as bright as it looks on camera. Let's bring it back a little bit. Nope, still too bright. Dumb it down a little bit. But anyway, it's really pretty. It's like, I don't know how to darken it. I'm trying to think can I compare it to. Let me see what this color looks like, because it matched this too. See this color in there? It's like that. That's more of the color than this. This looks really bright on camera. This is just a true purple. It looks pink, but it ain't. It's purple. It's called magenta, but it's so weird because this is purple to me. Maybe I'm losing it. Yeah, that's a little bit more it. That ain't it. That's pink. That's more it. That's purple. So this will be going on the border with the scallop edge, and I think it'll be really nice. I'm really loving it. Only thing I have to remember is this. Can you see that? I have to kind of look down every once in a while because basically I split my stitches. Because you're holding 2 stitches double, you got to be really mindful that you're grabbing both portions of the stitch. So I have been doing that quite a bit and have had to take back rows in order to fix it. And because of the way the increases are, sometimes I would have forgot once, had to go all the way back a row or half a row. But I've been making sure before I turn and do the next row, I've just been making sure to look for the indications that I have completed all increases. And again, I probably should put in a lifeline, which would make sense, but I'm not putting in a lifeline. So we'll go ahead and get through this next. Right, so we made it to the end of the row. Put my stitch stopper on. I have learned my lesson with these stoppers. I try to use them all the time, but this is what it's looking like. Oops. So there we go. There's the top of the shawl. And you see how it's kind of curved more than just a triangle? Well, you can't tell right here, but there goes the back. See, it's curved up. And I just think it's really nice, and because it's double stranded, the squish is unreal in this garter stitch. It is unreal. So one of the things that she's mentioning in the pattern is about blocking and trying to get it to the right dimensions. Because I use this yarn double, I think the squish factor will stay there, but what I'm concerned about is always when you wash it again and giving it to someone, they're not going to know how to block it. They're not going to think to do it, and so I'm wondering what that's going to look like. So I'm curious to see how big this will actually be unblocked, because chances are she's going to hand wash it and just lay it down somewhere, and I'm wondering what it's going to shrink up like for her, but we'll see. One thing I want to mention with this I-cord cast on situation, I don't know 100% if I did this right or wrong, but I got the right effect. So we're going to tuck this tail in, sew it down, and just keep it moving. But something about the directions, either I was mirroring the directions and maybe I wasn't quite getting the point, but you cast them on, and I'll tell me if I'm right. You cast on your 3, you do your back and forth thing. When you do your last knit 3, are you supposed to slide them back to the left needle and then knit your 3? I don't know. Something in the process for me just didn't make sense. And she had referenced one of Stephen West's videos for... You okay? Okay. She had referenced one of Stephen West's videos for his I-cord cast on. And even then, I just couldn't quite get it, because I understand that the 3 on the needle are 3 stitches, right? And then I'm supposed to pick up 3 from the side also, right? Got that. And then it says you're going to pick up 3 from the cast on edge, which, based off of what I understand the cast on edge to be, it would be the very bottom where the tail is coming from. But the problem with doing that is it was a little difficult to see 3 stitches because they were so bunched up. So I don't know if that was what I was supposed to pick up, or was I supposed to go back around the other side and grab the 3 from the other side of the spine. It was just really, it was a little weird for me. I can't exactly remember how or what exactly I did, but I got 9 stitches, which was for the original cast on tab, and I was able to keep it moving. So yeah, if you have any tips and tricks on an I-cord cast on, let me know. Techniques is what we're about. We're trying to learn stuff. So that's that. And again, love her. She's just the sweetest person. And sometimes you feel like when you watch certain people on YouTube, like they become part of your, I think Wendy Williams used to say that she's my friend in my head. So like her and I, we sit down and have coffee all the time. She doesn't know that, but we do. So another thing that I'm working on is, I gotta get it out of the bag, is a summer top, because even though we're dead smack in the middle of winter, I want to have something ready for summer, and I don't want to work on it, well, for spring, and I don't want to start working on it in the spring. I want to have it ready for spring. So during the Black Friday sales, I purchased some patterns by Kika, which is that Arctic Light sweater is one, and then the next one is the Lola top, which I'll stick over there. And so I casted that on, and so this is the Lola top that I'm making. In the pattern, she just has it with red and white, but I'm trying to get through some of this Happy Place yarn that I got hanging out in the house, and so I decided to, let me bring it down a little bit. I decided to use some of the other colors that I had, and so I'm just striping it with this turquoise blue, and this is like that peachy melange color, and I'm really liking it. So it does neck, small needles, and you do some increases along the side, on the sides, and then, you know, so we'll see how it goes. I'm always a little concerned when it comes to sizing, because where things say negative ease, I'm not a person who likes negative ease garments, so I'm a little concerned. I followed the directions, I went with the recommendation, but I'm a little concerned on how tight it's going to be across my belly, more than the bust. Like, I don't mind it being tight across the bust, but I am more concerned about it being negative ease all the way through. So we'll kind of see what that looks like as we go on. And then right now, that was the front piece that I showed you, and now I'm currently working on the back piece. So I got that cast on. And so that's slowly moving, but then once I get through a certain section of the back, then you connect it all and you work it in around. And I want to say there was some crochet needles that I saw in the pictures, so I must have to crochet maybe the armholes or something. I'm just guessing because I didn't read through the whole pattern, but I just kind of took a glimpse at it. And I gotta tell you, I really love the colors. Originally, when I first did this, I casted it on and I did, I think, 5 colors. Like, I was going through every color of Happy Place that I had in there, like my blanket, like this blanket right here. I used every color, and I was like, okay, this is getting to be too much, because too many ends. It was not designed for that many ends. So it was making it a little bit more cumbersome, so I just ripped it all out, restarted, and just did the 2 colors, and I like it. I think it's pretty. So I get you up close so you can see what that looks like. It's pretty, right? And by the way, this is that Happy Place in that 01, that melange that I was trying to reorder for my sweater back in the day. And it did not match. This is that order that I placed. So no, it didn't match my original first sweater, but it's turning out really well as a base color for a tank top. So I'm really loving it. And next on the list, and probably last on the list, is a scarf by Tin Can Knits, and it's called the Wheat Scarf Harvest. We'll put a picture. I think it's called Harvest. Nope. It's called Wheat. And this is what that looks like. Alright. Making decent progress. This project is I'm at work. I work on the phones and I do customer service, right? And so as I do these interviews, I pretty much know the script verbatim. So I don't have to look at the scripting. I can just read it off. I can just knit, not look at the screen. I'm good. If my boss is watching, which I doubt she ever will, it doesn't mean that I don't pay attention to the customer. I do. I just know how to do my job well. So that's my scarf. Now, the project itself is not all that fantabulous, right? Like, it's a basic beginner scarf, kind of gives you some practice with reading your stitches, doing different things in a project in a row. And so you see it has a knit border, then there's a knit one, purl one section, and then it ends with the knit border, and that's it. It's so basic, so pretty, so simple, but as a beginner, I can see you getting really, really excited to watch it grow and to really understand your work, like what you're doing. Now, the interesting thing about that is not in the project, the pattern, it's the yarn. So it wasn't a Black Friday purchase. It might have been a New Year's thing. I don't remember. But I wanted to jump on the Drops yarn bandwagon because I feel like I'm the only one who has not ever had Drops, right? So I went online. They had a Drops alpaca sale going on at the time, but I didn't want Drops alpaca because I've come to realize I'm not a mohairy type person. Too much fluff and fuzz. It's okay if it's a little bit, but the alpaca as the main ingredient, especially when it's doing that fuzzy, like you can pluck the fire. I don't want that. So I settled on Drops Nepal, and I got that in 2 colors. And then I also picked up, in preparation for the Lola top that we just talked about, which is out of cotton yarn, I picked up the Drops Cotton Light. So this is the bag that it came in. Alright, that's my Drops Nepal and my Drops Cotton Light. And I ordered it from the Wool Warehouse. And I want to say, I had issues with my shipping, but it wasn't anything related to the company. And I'm glad that I paid for tracked shipping. Because I live in a house that is new construction, I have issues with delivery drivers who seem to never be able to find my house, which is interesting because the bills always make it here, but I digress. So when they sent it, if I didn't track it, I would have never gotten my package, or it may have shown up months later. But because I did do tracking, which was $20 US, by the way, I was able to speak with DHL, and I kind of told them what they need to do as far as GPS. How do you find me? I told them. So that worked out great. So I got the Drops Nepal. I got it in this color, which they don't do numbers on their stuff. I mean, they don't do names of color on their stuff. So this is color 0206. And it's just a beigey color. Now this Drops Nepal is a wool and alpaca blend. I want to say this is a number 4. What do you think? Don't look at my nails. But I think this is a number 4 weight, I think. And then I got this color, which is 8907, which is more like a ice heathered blue. Ice blue, but a heathered version. It's a little bit lighter in person than it looks on camera, which is fine. But these two together, originally, when I ordered this, let me tell you what this package say. This thing tells me that it's 82 yards. Now, I'm almost positive that when I ordered this, I saw that it was 100 and something yards, like maybe 109. And honestly, maybe it didn't say it on the website, but I think I did a conversion calculator and I came up with 109. So I ordered, was it 5? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I ordered 6, thinking that I'd be able to get through maybe like a striped or color block, because I wanted to try 2 colors. So I was thinking I could do like a basic raglan shirt and have like the beige at the top and the blue at the bottom, or maybe I could get through like a vest, even though I'm not a vest person, but like a short sleeve like this, like a ranunculus or something. I got these things that say 82 yards. I was like, okay, I'm clearly not going to be able to get a sweater to fit me out of this. Now, I could make one for somebody else, but I'm not going to. But as far as the yarn goes, this Drops Nepal feels really, really, really nice. I don't know if I can compare it to anything else, because I don't think I've ever had a wool and alpaca blend in anything else before. I'm looking in the cabinet to see, do I have anything? I know I have 100% wool. I do have some 100% alpaca, which is the reason why I know I don't like it. I like it, but it's not my thing for everything. Like, everybody is putting a strand of mohair or alpaca with their sweater. It's not necessary for me. The problem, it's not a problem, but we'll just be honest about it. So these balls of yarn are really cheap. They're like $2.35 or maybe $3, something like that. But they're only 50 grams. Let me see, I don't want to lie. It's a 50-gram skein of yarn. 50. Which means that for 2 of these, which is a typical skein of yarn at 100 grams, I'm getting 164 yards. Which, yeah, I think it's like a worsted weight. But at $2.33 for one, I don't think I'm really getting a whole big bargain, because for 100 grams, that's still about $5. You see what I'm saying? So yes, it's inexpensive. And yes, you can get a lot of them, but you're still paying the same amount of money for something that I could probably get here. Quality, it feels really good, but I can't imagine that there's no company local or within the US that I don't have to pay $20 extra in shipping, that I can't get the same type of quality. Would I order it again? I might, but I saw, I had the experience. So that's the Drop Nepal. Then the Cotton Light, can I help you? She's just standing there. The Cotton Light, I was thinking of the Lola top, and I was thinking of, she has another pattern that I bought called the Stripe Hype dress. It's like a sweater dress. And that dress is color blocked. And so I was thinking these would be some really nice colors to put together, right? A nice blue, pink situation. And I think my main big stripe was in this color. Like, I wanted the pink to be the main color, the light pink to be the main color. That's what I wanted. Then I get these little balls of yarn and I'm like, again, I didn't expect them to be this small. I'll show you the colors while I tell you about them. But this is 115 yards. And this might have been $1.75, I think. I know it wasn't more than $3, so we'll say $2 or less, right? And I ordered again, I did a conversion, so I'm ordering based off of what I know the math was. And what she said was you need like 800 of this color, 800 yards in this color, 600 of this color. So that's what I got. So I have a bag full of cotton yarn in Drops Cotton Light. And this cotton, while soft, is not 100% cotton, which is okay. But I don't know if I'm gonna like it in a garment. I started my Lola top in the pink at first, and it has no give, which cotton usually doesn't. I don't know, I'm undecided. But I have this giant bag of yarn now with all of this cotton, and it has to get used. So I'm going to figure this out. It's 115 yards. It's 50% cotton and 50% polyester. If you've used this, please let me know what has your experience been. Because this, I feel like, was not a bad purchase, but I feel like this was not a good choice. I could have gotten more of the Nepal if I, but I didn't know. So I picked out what I thought. I had a project in mind. I was being a good girl. I ordered with a project in mind. I don't know if this is going to work for that project because I don't know. I'm just going to work up a swatch in it and see. Like I said, I started it for the Lola top, but I just got through the neckband, and knitting on it was not fun for my hands. It didn't give. It had no stretch. It was, So I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know. Especially not a dress. Like that's a lot to commit to. So I don't think I'm gonna do that. So that's how I ended up making the scarf out of the Nepal, because it wasn't gonna be enough to do nothing with, no way. So I just made the scarf. Scarf is just about done. It's supposed to go down to 57 inches in length. As it is right now is good. Like I would wear a scarf just like this and tuck it on in, put my coat on and go about my business. It doesn't feel overly itchy. You can feel the alpaca or something. You can feel the something. It's wool and alpaca. You can feel a little bit of a prickle, but not enough where you're like, oh my God, I gotta take this off. But I think once I wash and block it, which I'll wash it and just let it dry flat, I think it might be okay, like texture wise. So, but it feels really good. It has like it almost feels like you are working with some sort of a lotion on it, like you find your hands doing this. And I believe that's the wool content is probably the lanolin from the sheep. So it feels really good. It's a nice, it says on the package it's a everyday wool and alpaca for every day is what they say. And I could see this being a typical sweater yarn and things like that. But like I said, for the price and for the amount that you get, I just feel like I've been duped, because I still got to pay $5 for 164 yards, which I could order something from Hobie and get the same thing without the $20 tracking. Now, granted, Wool Warehouse, they have a free shipping option. Like you get to a certain amount, you get your shipping for free, but it's not tracked. And anything coming out of the country, if it's not tracked, you have no idea when it's coming. You don't know if there's an issue. You know nothing. And sometimes packages could stay gone forever, and I didn't want that. I didn't want to deal with that, so I paid to get it. And I'm glad I did, because I wouldn't have, but I'm just saying. And then lastly is by way of update. It's nothing major, but it's this blanket. So I finally got back into the mojo of it all, and I have officially 9 squares going in one direction. And I'm gonna see if I can stand up and show you what this looks like. Hold on. I wanted it to be the largest that was written in the pattern, which was 9 by 9. So I have 9 going in one direction, which is this way. and it is long enough to cover me from shoulder, like you see that, with one square over the shoulder, and it goes all the way down to my feet, and I am 5 feet 2 inches. The problem is the width, so I still have to keep going. I think I got, let's see where we are. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 going across right now. I need to add 4 more going that way. And then it'll be a nice proper size throw blanket, which I'm really excited about. But I also think I'm gonna probably add on and make maybe a 10 by 10, and that's really because my husband is 6 feet tall, and if I'm going to leave this in the living room like a couch blanket, I want him to be able to cover it too. So I'll probably do that, make it 10 by 10, but we'll start with 9 by 9 and kind of see where we are. And yeah, so that is that. It is Sunday here. It feels so good. This yarn is the Happy Place yarn, in case you didn't know, but this Happy Place yarn is the best. It's a cotton and wool blend that Tony came up with in partnership with Hobie. And it is warm without being hot and light, so you don't feel like you're suffocating under the blanket. Do you remember blankets back in the day made out of Red Heart yarn? And every grandparent probably had one on the bed, and it was itchy and it was hot and it was heavy. This is not that. This is the complete opposite of your memories of blankets made with yarn. But though they bring back so many memories, like, I don't know, I remember so many granny stripe type blankets back in the day. I can't exactly remember where I was or how old I was, but I have vague memories of seeing these giant blankets like on the back of sofas and on the edge of a bed. You know, I guess it's just Red Heart has been around for a while. We will not undercut their place in the yarn world. They are the original. They belong here. And they have actually come up with some really good stuff outside of the Super Saver. But when you're learning to knit, this is the best yarn to start with. It really is. You get all the colors in the world. You feel like you're doing something. And then you graduate slowly into the higher quality or higher priced. So, progress for next video. What do I hope to accomplish? I hope to, well, one, we should be finished with this thing. I should be done with this by the end of the week because I work on it at work. The other thing is, oh, where's my... Let me put my DPN back on my sweater so I don't lose it. And if you was wondering, all I do is stick it in a part of the sweater like that, and then just put the stitch stopper on it, and just that way I can save my cable needle with my project. So my goal for the next 2 weeks is to finish the yoke part of this and get it to split for sleeves, and hopefully make a little progress on the body. That would be really nice. Now normally I knit sleeves first, so depending on what this pattern is looking like and how difficult it's looking or what I feel like dealing with, we'll kind of see if I stay with my tried and true or if I try something different. The other thing is, because I have no choice, this shawl will have to be done. So in the next 2 weeks, this will be completed. Hopefully I can get some pictures up and show it to you. So just one more time, look at the little spine in the middle. That's my favorite part, is actually that and the I-cord. The I-cord. And you see those little, that canal of stitches right there. That's one of my favorite parts of this. And it also feels really good. Oh, I didn't tell you the yarn of this. I just told you the color, right? So this yarn is Allegria. And it is a fingering weight yarn, 445 yards, and this is 100 grams. Now their yarn is expensive, their quality is good. It's a superwash merino and polyamide mix. It's a good quality yarn. This yarn I made a sweater out of, and I will say, while you can stick it in the washing machine, use a lingerie bag and don't put it in a dryer. Machine wash dry flat or hand wash dry flat. I think that's going to have to be my practice going forward for knits that are not acrylic, because I have been messing up projects and I don't want to do that in 24. So that's the yarn for that. In the next 2 weeks, it should be about time for me to start planting seeds to get ready for spring. I'm so excited. So I picked up some things from the Dollar Tree to help with that, and I have like old garden stuff out there, and I need to kind of get the dirt out and fix it, do all the amendments and all that stuff. This is my first official year gardening, so it'll be interesting to see how we do. So yeah, if you got any tips for me on anything that we've talked about, leave them in the comment section below, and we will talk again in 2 weeks. Bye.